had Holiday ends up in Milwaukee, Bledsoe and Steven Adams in New Orleans. Now they've got Bledsoe. What about them, Hunter? Are they playoff team now?
Um, what makes New Orleans a playoff team is how Zion comes out next year. And what I mean by that is really it's his weight and his health. I mean, he was on and off last year with some sort of knee injury. They said a lot of it might have had to do with his weight. I know he kind of got nicked in it. Like he just got bumped into it, and it just really messed it up. That's been the knock I've had on Zion. I think he can be an all-time great. The problem is he needs to lose about 20 pounds because the wear and tear eventually on his joints is just going to be too much that he might only last 8 to 9 years. You know, we always said the same thing in the NFL. Running quarterbacks don't last long. Why? Because they take such a beating. Mm-hmm. And the same thing can be said about Zion. I mean, he might not last very long because his body just won't hold up that long. And especially, think about how Shaq got eventually. It didn't matter where he went on his long tour of playing with multiple teams after winning it with the Lakers and with the Heat. His body would just give up on him at some point. He would just be hurt. He wouldn't play full seasons. And, I mean, he could still be on the court and is such a force to be reckoned with. But the best ability, we say it in all sports, is availability. And if Zion's not on the court, I mean, what was the point?
I'm trying to find out.
Now, I will say this.
Comparison to
I will say this.
Size-wise.
I will say this. There's no guarantee that this Pelicans team is Zion's right now. Because Brandon Ingram's still a baller. Brandon Ingram is and I'm going to put this nicely, is a poor man's Kevin Durant. He can score at will. He's tall. He's lanky. The only thing he's lacking is maybe his defense and the consistency of scoring that Kevin Durant does. But he can still go out there and get you 34 on any night.
I like Brandon Ingram.
I watched him play in one of these state championship games. God almighty.
He's still awful young.
He is.
And he's
very
got ball
young.
skills. He can shoot. Like if LaMelo could shoot like him, like I would be happy. But he can't, and that's the thing. I've just seen it for too many years. Here's the comparison. I've been trying to compare Zion to somebody. The weight is tough to get to.
He's 280.
Okay? Right. So
second heaviest in the league.
Here's who I compared him to in college. You know, when I said we've seen Zion before. A 6'6" or 6'7" power forward, left-hander who does 360s. His name, ladies and gentlemen, was Rodney Rogers. Rodney played at Wake Forest. He was a stud. Ended up in an accident and getting paralyzed. Rodney, 6'7", 235, Hunter.
That's a big boy.
Not really. The Chaz is 230.
Well, think about that.
I thought he was big until I looked at Zion.
Well, I was about to say,
and Karl Malone.
If you look at Zion's weight compared to his, there's nowhere close.
I can't find somebody that big.
And that's the problem.
He's listed at 285.
280. If you drop him down to 260, even LeBron at his heaviest in the days in Miami when he was such a freight train was 260.
Hunter,
but even then,
lineman, after, if I told you he was 6'6", 285.
That's a big boy.
That's a good lineman, isn't
That's
it?
a good lineman. He's kind of lean for his height.
He's almost
athletic.
lineman size, guys. Like Shaq was too big to be an offensive lineman, 7'2", but 6'6", 285.
And they've made good comparisons, or not comparisons.
What's
They've made how am I trying to put this? His play style is what can really lead to some injuries for his size.
Right, exactly.
He's so explosive and he attacks the basket all the time. And him using that much force, everybody's talking about it. And I have to just reiterate it because you can just see it. It's agreeable. How much force is it going to take on his joints to get 285 pounds up
again
consistently?
It's probably not the up part; it's the coming down.
Oof. Yeah.
So you're landing on your ankles at 280 pounds. Whether or not, you're in shape, you're not fat or whatever, ankles getting 200. Remember, a offensive lineman doesn't jump 10 foot in the air.
No.
A defensive lineman doesn't jump up 10 foot in the air.
No.
And hang on the rim.
And they got knee braces and ankle braces all over them.
So you're right. It's 280 is way too much.
I'm telling you, I think he would
Listen
have
to this.
more longevity at 260.
Julius Peppers,
Mm-hmm.
6'7", 265. He's bigger than Julius Peppers, Hunter.
Not height-wise, he's shorter.
He's 1 inch shorter, but he's the same size, but he's got 20 more pounds on Peppers. Now, you don't think Peppers had a pretty good weight program? Like lifting and all that?
Yeah.
I think he was pretty ripped.
Well, what did I say?
He
when
probably
got,
maxed out his...
What did I say when he got drafted by New Orleans? He's one bad weekend away from being overweight.
being the defensive end for the... He'd be a heck of a defensive end.
Hey, listen.
He's Pepper size.
He'd be a heck of a tight end, too. Son of a gun. He's got jumping ability to go up and get that football. Good Lord.
That's true, but I'd still want him on defense.
I don't know what his breakaway
Hey, what about
speed
him blocking
is, though.
field goals?
I don't know what his... Well... I don't know what his breakaway speed is.
Right.
I don't remember what his 40 was, but in all seriousness, physically he is a freak.
Peppers is
athlete.
left-handed too.
He's probably one of the most freakish athletes I've ever seen come out since LeBron. The problem is, I don't think it's sustainable at his weight.
We'll see what he can
has
do.
to be. He has, for me, the safest weight for him would be 260. 270 for me would still be pushing it.
So Karl Malone was 6'9", 260. 250.
Zion is 6'6", 280.
3 inches shorter and 30 pounds more. Now, you can argue about whether it's muscle or not, but damn, Karl Malone was ripped.
Listen, I don't care. I don't care if it's muscle or fat. That's
Right,
still
that's a lot of
heavy.
weight.
That's still heavy. If you do, like, let's just do this. Ideal
How high could he jump, Hunter, if he weighed 250?
weight at 6'6".
Like, you know what I mean?
An ideal weight for 6'6". This is if you are a male. This is from bannerhealth.com.
Yeah.
Is anywhere between the skinniest
Probably
would be
230.
193 to 235.
Yeah.
He is 6'6" and is 50 pounds heavier.
50 pounds.
And everybody can argue, yeah, muscle weighs more than fat. You're 110% correct. But damn, if your joints aren't made to hold that kind of weight,
He's got
come
plenty.
on.
He's got plenty of baby fat. Yeah, he's still got that young Barkley
You can
body.
see him. You can see it in him. If he was, that's what I'm saying. If he could lose at least 15, it doesn't even have to be the full 20.
Mm-hmm.
If he could lose 15 more pounds, I would go ahead and add another 2 to 3 years onto his NBA expected career.
Yeah, you're right on the weight. I think there's
He'll have feet problems.
There's an ACL, ankle, or probably a broken foot, like the bottom of your foot. Those
Mm-hmm.
bones, those get broke a lot on the weight bearing guys. Like landing again, like he jumps higher than I ever could, and he weighs 125 pounds
and
more than
and
me.
it's all based on
110
him.
pounds more.
Seriously, and it is all based on him whether or not I think the Pelicans are a playoff team. He has to keep that weight, and he cannot become injury prone. You just can't. You can't. I mean, even Tyreek Evans, when he came in the league, was a freak athlete. He was nowhere near that size, but injuries and inconsistent play, that just is what kept him out.
Give me your Eastern and Western Conference Finals right now.
Right now, oh man, I still think the Bucks are the best team in the East. I'm trying to think if Miami really added somebody. Because it's hard for me to say that, they wouldn't make it back. Boston is going to be intriguing to watch. So if you had to ask me right now, I think I would say Milwaukee and Boston. I think the Raptors lost too much. They lost Marc Gasol, and they also lost Serge Ibaka. He's not there anymore. So to me, those are two really key defensive players, and they lost both of them. So to me, it's going to be Boston and Milwaukee. And this is just based off of what we've seen in free agency. And in the West, I hate to say it, but damn, I have the Lakers.
Where did Ibaka go?
Ibaka signed with the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he signed with the Clippers. But I will say this, a team to watch in the East, you are going to hate to hear me say this, but it will be the 76ers.
The Hornets. You just told me LaMelo.
I think the Hornets will fight for an 8 spot. Seriously, I think they will. It will be the 76ers, and it is because not that they signed Dwight Howard. That's just going to be an extra. I don't know and see, that makes me question what they're going to do with Joel and Ben, whether they just keep them. But it's the fact that they have brought in shooters. They brought in Danny Green. They brought in another shooter. I can't think of off the top of my head. I think his last name was Richardson. They're bringing in shooters, which is what made them really good a few years ago to have shooters around them. So I would watch them. But so in the East, I would have Boston and Milwaukee right now. In the West, Lakers. And I don't want to be that guy that goes Lakers Clippers because it didn't happen last year and I want to see it. But
we got months to talk about this, Hunter. So I mean, this is you've took way longer than I thought it was going to take. Just name 2 teams.
I'll just do Lakers Clippers. That's fine.
All right, you got in the finals. Lakers Bucks.
Probably Lakers
right.
Bucks.
Captain Chalk next to me.
I can't help it.
I'm writing down what I want, and I'm going to stand by it for the whole year. Nets Nuggets. That would make me the happiest finals viewer of all time. I've watched so many finals where I hate one team or another, and I had to pull
one
somebody.
where you got
and if those
both of
two
them.
teams play each other, I'll be in my happy little clam, eating popcorn, enjoying the finals for once. It's been a while. I enjoy the finals.
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't even have the Nets in your top 3.
No, I just don't know. I just don't know. What do you mean I didn't have them in my top 3? I think they'll be top 3.
No, you said Boston and Milwaukee were going to be in your Eastern Conference Finals, and you said maybe Philly.
No, I said the team to watch for is Philly.
Right.
I didn't say that they'd be 3rd.
Okay, so Nets.
The
third?
Nets would probably be 3rd. Them or Toronto. Because Toronto seems to always be able to compete. I don't know. Because the problem is,
There is no Toronto.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Tampa.
They're freaking Tampa.
It's Tampa.
The damn Tampa Bay. They're the Raptors.
It's
Tampa Bay Raptors.
Tampa Raptors.
Listen, hey, that's the power of Tom Brady. Everybody's coming to Tampa now.
I get it.
Everybody's coming to Tampa. Players and teams.
That's fun.
And watch the Rays leave. That'd be hilarious.
So, a couple other questions before we get off here. How
Yes.
about, and this was what I said Saturday. I'm sticking by this.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about LaMelo. I know I'm going to make you mad even more with this one. If I was the Hornets, besides playing LaMelo one-on-one and then trading him and just being the number 1 scorer in the world, what they should do, seriously, call Golden State and offer LaMelo the next 2 first-round picks for Steph. Would Golden State consider it?
Probably not. Probably not.
Let me put you. Let's say Hunter is the GM of the Golden State Warriors, and I say Hunter, you got Steph Curry's 32 years old, something like that, 30 years old. He's got some ankle issues. He's a small point guard. Your shooting guards. Next time he plays will be first time he plays a full season in 4 years. About last year, with the ACL. Then this year, the 60 games, the whatever that was. Then now the ACL or Achilles. So it's going to be 4 years. So how old are the Warriors going to commit to that group? Because think about it. Hunter, I can give you LaMelo now. So there's your point guard. You got Wiggins. You got Wiseman.
You just traded for Kelly Oubre.
There's 4 starters you'd have under 25 years old. And you got Draymond, sorry ass, you can get rid of anytime. Somebody will take him, a contender will take him to play hard on their team. So if you're the Warriors, you've got to set a date, Hunter, at some point, don't you? Don't you got to plan 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road and say, realistically, are we going to ride Steph out till he's 40, or are we going to try to get rid of him or going to just let him walk on a free agent? Because right now, are they going to win championship this year without Klay Thompson?
Not now.
Remember, this time, was it last year, I guess? They had Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And now they got nothing but Steph and Draymond and a bunch of young guys. And if I'm Golden State, if LaMelo's what everybody says, I'd really consider it. If you were their GM, would you? Like what? That's what I'm saying. Like what point?
Is Jerry
what year,
West
what year
still
does
over them?
No, he's in.
He's with the
Clippers. Ain't he?
Clippers, I think. Never mind.
That's what I'm saying. Like at what point? Some point, Steph Curry's career is going to end. Do you want it on
Well,
your team?
you have to
or do you
look
want
at
him
them
to go?
as the guys in charge in Golden State and be able to look at each other and agree and say the window is closed.
Right.
That's exactly what you have
That's
to
what
say.
I'm
is
saying right now.
we
Is it
have
closed?
to say that the window is closed, and I don't think they can do that. You wouldn't have made the trade for Kelly Oubre if you didn't think you would at least be able to ride along with Steph this year and compete. Now, if we're talking next year, it's a different story.
Steph's 32 right now. He'll be 33 in March.
It's just, I don't know because
Jordan stopped winning titles at what, 35, 36? So, like,
I mean, he's got a few years.
Right.
And Clay's around his age, too. They're still young.
They do, but that's my point is
the problem is
you're not going to be able to make your team better.
This is the problem, though.
Unless you got you're going to have a top draft pick.
The problem is Clay is now coming off of an ACL and an Achilles. There's no guarantee he's going to be the same.
Let's say
his
he
game,
can probably shoot.
I was going to say his game will be the
play
fine.
defense.
No,
he's not going to be able to play defense like he did.
He's made all his money off a 3-and-D guy,
right?
And probably the best in the league at doing it. I don't know if you make that trade because Oubre can play, Wiggins can play, Steph can play, and if Wiseman can come in and play, then you still have a good opportunity of being
Chris,
a playoff team.
I'm gonna tell you why it makes sense for both teams. One, the Warriors ain't winning now. They can try to win now. They ain't winning now. Steph Curry is not winning championship by himself.
No, not by himself.
He needs someone else that can get 25. And ain't nobody on that roster getting it other than Andrew Wiggins. But you still need that third person to get you up to, what, 80, 70? I don't know if they can do it. And their strategy this whole time has been shoot the three. Are they going to be able to do that now without Clay? And it's just Steph? They're going to have to do some type of something. That's fine. I think their window's closed. It's over. It's done. I think they want to try to win. But let's say you got 3 years left of Steph Curry. Well, this year's not going to happen.
No.
So that means you got to hope next year will and hope the next year will. Do the Nets get better next year? Do the Lakers get better next year? Do the Nuggets get better next year? And then, again, you'll be relying on a guy who hasn't played in 3 years, basically, with blown all major tendons. So you're sitting there. That's Golden State's position.
I think the Nuggets just got good this year off the draft pick of RJ for that shooting guard.
So if you're the Warriors, realistically, you're not winning this year. The only thing you can hope for is LeBron gets hurt and Steph shoots everybody in the playoffs, right? Okay. So then next year, so that means you got 2 years. So at what point do you want to restart in 2 years without Steph? What if he gets hurt in 2 years? Now you have nothing.
Do you know what I think's going to happen?
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors are going to treat Steph exactly like the Los Angeles Lakers treated Kobe. They want to keep him here, even if it's starting to look real bad. They want to make him a lifelong Warrior.
I mean, you end up bringing him off the bench at some point?
The difference would be if Jerry West was still there in Golden State, because Jerry West has built teams up for championships, and he's not afraid to move off of somebody if they're not working out. But the difference is they signed him. The Bay Area, that is Steph's team. The Lakers, you think about them, the great Lakers, Kobe's up there. Steph could be considered probably one of the greatest Warriors to play games. So I feel like that's what's going to think. That's just what's going to happen.
But the not making sense on the Hornets thing, it definitely makes sense. This is why. In 3 years, are you going to championship with LaMelo Ball? No. Or 3 years, you're going to win it with Steph? No. But I guarantee you're going to sell more tickets with Steph. You're going to watch him You're going to watch him score 30 points a game. Well, he's way better than LaMelo Ball. And here's why you wouldn't do it. The Hornets ain't winning shit. Now, 5 years, whenever. They ain't winning. So when we compare, we talk about, well, Lakers fans, well, I wouldn't do that, or Bucks or Warriors, well, I wouldn't do that. But you can't apply it to the Hornets, like with the Hayward thing. If you're the Hornets, all I hear is, well, LaMelo's a playmaker. He's going to put butts in the seats. Okay. Steph's a playmaker. He's going to put more butts in the seats, and he's going to hit jump shots for the next 3 years. I just don't. If in 3 years or 4 years, Hunter, you haven't won a fucking playoff game, you should have made the move. Because what did it matter? What did it matter in the end? That you sold some hot dogs? That Michael, sold some extra Air Jordans? What is your end game with LaMelo? If it ain't to stack it with shooters and ballers around him, he's worthless because all he does is pass it to other people. Same thing with Lonzo. You put Lonzo on the Hawks or whatever sorry team, if you don't have anybody to pass it to, what would Lonzo's stats be in Charlotte? No,
I don't know.
Like, who's he passing it to? He's getting 7 assists now, and he's got Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. If he was doing that to Cody Zeller and MKG, he'd get, 4 assists, 3 assists? Way less.
I don't know.
But anyway, I know you don't care about selling tickets, Chris, but the Hornets probably are. I don't think they can win. They're not going to win until they get real basketball players and a real team and someone that puts real people on the court. And this is, I'm not saying I'm done with them because I don't want to pull for another team in the NBA because
Well, I'm fringe on Washington anyways for football.
well, the
so.
NBA is more unfair than about baseball or any of the other sports too. Is like what chance does here's Charlotte's chance of winning? Hit 3 to 5 straight lottery picks and overpay someone or two people to come in.
That's your demographic. That's just the city. That's the city.
That's the only way.
That's the city
to do it. Only way. So I just, they there's nothing for me to go down there and watch. I don't even want to go as an employer, as a
affiliate,
as a worker. I'd be more interested in talking to LeVar Ball in the tunnel than I would be anybody on that team.
Well, you know why I would go. I would go to the visitors locker room.
Right.
Because we don't
anyway.
get to see those teams from the West much.
It's just getting to the point of pissing me off, making me angry that it's just nothing but hot garbage out there. And yeah, let's say he's his brother and he's successful. Again, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I don't give a shit about any of that. I really don't. I want somebody to score 25 points and I can buy a jersey.
Right. Kimba was that. I mean, you didn't like him, but I mean that's what Kimba was for the longest time. He at least would go out there.
Right.
We
need 2 or 3 of them. Not waste number 3 picks. Hunter, what did MKG pick do to us for 10 years? What if we would have drafted a guy with that pick that averaged 25 points? Damian Lillard. What if we'd have made the right pick there? Bradley Beal.
Listen.
How far back did it set us back? What if you had MKG and John Wall?
Ugh.
So I'm like, would y'all trade Bill for Wall? I mean, MKG? No.
Hell no.
I mean, that's what I mean by missing on a pick.
I told you who I would have drafted, and he ended up falling to the 8th spot. So
I like y'all's guys. If y'all end up trading,
John, he is demanded a trade.
Y'all want Terry Rozier for him?
No, I don't. I don't want anybody for him. But
would y'all take LaMelo?
No.
Oh God! Why not? Because he not gonna be as good as John Wall.
Listen, not many point guards going to be better than what John Wall is.
20 and 10. So we're supposed to get your number 3 pick. What was John Wall? Was he won?
One. Yeah, he won.
I couldn't remember if y'all got him or,
he was
or
one.
not. So y'all don't want. So who you got to take somebody? He's getting traded.
No, we're keeping him. He gonna sit his sorry ass
y'all
there.
Got Rui, Bradley Beal, and Avdija, and this dude wants out of there.
I don't understand.
Like that's a point guard's dream right there. Like LaMelo there would work better than in Charlotte, and Wall in Charlotte would be better than LaMelo.
Probably
he's scoring. Fuck's he gonna do? Throw alley up to himself?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the strategy here. Okay, whatever the Hornets' strategy is. Well, Hunter, we got 3 point guards, no shooting guards.
No, that's where you would make.
Do we
a
have
trade.
any small forwards?
Gordon Hayward is a small forward.
Okay.
And P.J. Washington
Bridges.
and Miles Bridges, they can play the 3 of the 4.
Okay. Besides Gordon Hayward. No, here's what me and Andre was talking about the other day. If MKG and LaMelo walked into the Cherryville High School gym against me and Andre, we'd be favored to win the shooting contest. You can say whatever you want about their potential, their height, whatever they want, but honest to God, Hunter, we would dust those two in a shooting contest. And Andre can shoot. I'm not just tapping. I'm just saying about me. Andre can shoot. Like, dude can shoot. I can shoot too, but damn, like, it's 10-foot goal, same rim, same ball height.
Yeah.
Those two cannot shoot.
No.
No,
they can't.
No, they can't.
Right now.
How do you have 2 sons picked top 3 and neither one of them can shoot a fucking basketball? Not only can neither one of them shoot them, they have the worst form ever. It's not even okay form, Hunter. It's like it's a form to where you see it as a 6th grade coach. You're like, dude. But the problem is, who is their coach?
LeVar.
Dad. Now he did a great job getting them there, but at some point, like, you can't have them shoot from the chest. Or on Lonzo was shooting on this side of his head as a right-handed shooter. Like, hey guy, watch this. Watch that elbow. See, that's supposed to be straight up right there, not sideways. So yeah. So Wizards, what do you want for Wall, Hunter? Before we get out of here, what you got to get it.
I'm not taking nothing.
Who would be available for a John Wall trade?
I don't know. If we
Kimba?
were going to trade, I don't want to score. because I've already got scoring now everywhere.
What about Kimba?
I would want a facilitator who can at least get me 10 to 12 on points. Because the problem is I'm giving up possibly 10 to 12 on assists. Like John Wall can go out there and get me a double-double easily.
He does great.
Easily.
He does. I like what he does. I don't. He's like a.
I talked to my buddy the other day, and he said no. And he told me this. You might disagree. He said, "No shit, Hunter. I would," because the talks were Russ Westbrook for John Wall. He said I would keep John over Russ.
I'm glad you said that word because that's the word I was about to say. Those two players are almost the exact same player to me, other than the fact Russell Westbrook's got way more dog in him. I told you what I saw. I saw John Wall at these programs trying to look pretty. Russell Westbrook ain't trying to look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between that's the Michael, the LeBron, the Kobe, and the Vince, or the Kobe and the teammate. Those are those arguments where somebody's got a little more dog in them.
Mm-hmm.
But if they'll take, if he's going to leave, Hunter, you'll get Westbrook. You got to take it. Same thing with Kimba. You got to take it.
We'll see. I don't want him to go, but we'll see.
I'm trying to find you a team for him real quick.
No.
Somebody who in there, Rondo might have been a good trade at that point if they could have done that. But I'm just trying to figure out where does Wall want to be? Like what does he want? It's just weird. All right, real quick, let me read you a couple of scouting things. Improvement areas for Anthony Edwards. Still learning how to play on both ends. Decision making is a work in progress. Tends to settle for contested jumpers.
And the fact that he came out and said he likes football more than basketball.
Undisciplined defender who isn't always engaged. Motor intensity fluctuates. But let's see. Strengths, powerful guard with elite length and explosiveness. Tough to contain. 3-level scorer. Made 42 pull-up jumpers in 32 games. He can splash the pull-up three. Let's go down to LaMelo. Now, see how I just want you to listen and see how broad and vague the descriptions are of LaMelo's game.
Right.
He has elite size for a point guard at 6'7". We know that. Controls the game from his unique vantage point with impressive creativity, flair, poise, and instincts.
Nice.
What?
Poise.
Is that how you figure out war? What is that? What kind of scout report is that? Gifted ball handler. Okay. Another thing you can't measure.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays at different speeds that you can't measure and can make every pass with either hand, which is good. I'll give you. You can throw a pass for Miles Bridges to Brickett with either hand. Makes good outlet passes. There you go.
Kick it.
What number 2-3 pick? Hey, he makes good outlet passes. Besides Kevin Love. God. Has a chance to be an adequate defender. Not even a good one. Adequate. Due to his combination. This is what's funny about this sentence, Hunter. He has a chance to be an adequate defender on the combination of his terrific size, quick feet, and instincts. So if he's got terrific size, quick feet, and instincts, why can't he be an elite defender?
I don't know.
Adequate.
Well, defense is all about the effort you want to give.
Exactly. Here's his improvement areas. Has struggled to score efficiently throughout his career. Shot just 46% from 2 and 25% from 3. Shoots jumpers with unorthodox mechanics, including a two-handed release while kicking out his legs. The touch he shows on floaters and a career 82 free throw percentage leaves room for optimism. I like 82 point. I like the free throws. I'm going to say that, Hunter. See, I said something good.
There you go.
I like his free throws. But floaters over Australian guys are a little bit different than floaters over NBA centers, don't you think?
Well, maybe.
Besides, was it Bogut? Was he the one from Australia?
I think he was, yeah.
Lacks a degree of high-end explosiveness. Creating offense from a standstill and beating opponents off the dribble. Doesn't have strength to finish, and when he does create around the basket. Relies a lot on tough floaters and other difficult attempts inside the arc. He's an indifferent defender for much of his career. He reverts back to that frequently, especially off the ball. Struggles to get over screens due to his lack of strength. Is maligned at many times for his work ethic and level of focus. So there's his scouting report. Take it with it for what you want. Now let me read you Devin Vassell's. This is the last thing before we get out of here. Intriguing physical profile at 6'7" with a reported 7-foot wingspan. Late bloomer physically, wiry and agile, light on his feet. Not the most explosive athlete, but length allows him to finish above the rim in transition. 3-and-D potential, not the most traditional shooting mechanics, but he hit 41% from three on 168 attempts in college. Disruptive on the defensive end, 2 steals and 1 block per game or per 40 minutes. Chases around chases other around point guards at times. Has a little more shot creation and potential than most 3-and-D wings. Improving as a ball handler, can play pick and roll. Comfortable rising up in mid-range off the dribble. So there's him. He was drafted by the Spurs. Now, between the Spurs and the Hornets, Hunter, who's had the better draft history, per se?
Spurs.
By a little or a lot?
A lot.
So if I would make a bet, I'm not going to. I did with Terry this weekend, maybe. If I made a bet with Terry and said, I'll bet you guys that Vassell has a better career than Ball, would that be overstating it?
No.
Okay.
I think it'd be just right.
2 things, because the Hornets and the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Ball on Celtics might be a good matchup. Ball on the Hornets, we ain't got nobody. We ain't got Brandon Ingram. We ain't got Zion. We ain't got who's the other one? They just signed down there. They got Eric Gordon down there now. They got
Steven Adams.
Like we ain't got none of that shit.
No.
So it's just aggravating to me, like, and how this stuff happens. Of course, it's my team. We could have picked Hunter. Every other team in the NBA could have picked him, and I'd never mention him again on this show. He would never have been mentioned on this show. When's the last time we talked Lonzo Ball? Have we ever? Not this year, because we just started that this year.
No, we haven't.
All right, Hunter, anything else? I lost it on.
No, Nothing at all. Unfortunate. I mean, we'll talk about something else Wednesday.
Now, Wednesday, we got, NFL football.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do our playoffs things, our rankings, and everything else Wednesday. Denver drafted a kid from Arizona. Is that what you were talking about? Najee?
No, that's later. They got R.J. Hampton.
R.J. Hampton was drafted by the Bucks. Was that a trade?
Yeah, it was a trade.
Okay, so those two traded for each other?
I believe so, because he's now in Denver. R.J. Hampton is in Denver.
At least we didn't draft a guy named Precious. Cole Anthony got to Orlando, so there you go. All right, I guess that'll do it for today. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening to KDC Broadcasting. Shock Joxx, thank you. Nelson, and what's funny about, Spurs draft Hall of Famers outside the lottery. Kawhi, Ginobili.
Yeah.
We are. All right, that'll do it for today, though. Everybody, KDC Broadcasting. We will be live Wednesday at 2:00. Hit that. I probably need to do that. We'll be live Wednesday at 2:00. That does not need to be on now. No, that one. Let's see. We'll get it right. People listening like, what the hell are y'all doing? We're just hitting buttons, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hunter Yancey, of course. Follow him on Twitter at Hunter Yancey. I'm at Kevin Hastings. Our names, easy to find at KTC Broadcasting, #KTC. Wednesday, Mondays and Wednesdays at 2:00. Saturdays at 8 a.m. And we'll see you guys Wednesday for more sports talk. Thank you for listening on wherever you do on podcasts, Apple Tunes, Spotify, and more. KTCBroadcasting.com.